I think I make it pretty obvious that I'm a big fan of the Super Mario series. I mean, for as long as I can remember, I've been playing these games with my family or watching YouTube videos about them. But on top of Mario and other video games like Minecraft, I've also been a massive fan of LEGO sets. Probably for even longer than I've been playing video games for. So you know what happens when you like two things? You'll want to combine them. So for years, I was dreaming of one day LEGO finally deciding to make sets based on the Super Mario series. And one day in 2020, they finally announced just that in the form of a little teaser trailer. I remember watching it in Spanish class and then getting in trouble. I got so excited that I even made a video predicting what I thought some of the Super Mario sets could be. However, what we ended up getting was not what I was expecting. In fact, I would say the Super Mario brand of LEGO sets has been largely disappointing for the past 4 years now. So today, I wanted to rant about my problems with the line and what I'd want to change about it. Obviously, this is a pretty different video than I'm used to making due to it being about LEGOs rather than video games. I unfortunately do not have a good IRL filming setup, so sorry if the background footage is unrelated to what I'm saying sometimes. I'll do my best to still put up images of what I'm saying as I talk though. I mean, to be fair, most of you probably aren't even looking at the screen right now to know I'm showing FNAF 2 footage. But anyways, if you enjoyed this mini rant video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump right in. Okay, so first things first, what is the LEGO Mario line like right now? Well, if you picture a standard LEGO set like LEGO City or something, Mario is not that.
Pizza.
Instead of being sets based on iconic locations from the series built in minifigure form, LEGO Mario looks like this. The way LEGO Mario sets currently work are under a sort of course builder system. Instead of minifigures, we have 3 horrific digital figures based on Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach. Now these don't come with the main sets, instead you have to buy a starter pack featuring one of them for $60 to even enjoy any of the other sets in the line. That's because, like I said, these LEGO sets sort of act like buildable courses. At the bottom of each digital figure, they have a scanner, which allows them to interact with many elements that come in their sets. You could even shove Mario into lava. On top of just basic colors for the ground though, many elements have special prints on them that cause special events to happen when scanned. You have to do this to both start and end levels with a pipe and flagpole respectively. Once the course begins, your goal is to collect as many coins as possible by interacting with other elements like enemies or other characters. And that is pretty much the basic summary of what the LEGO Mario line has been for the past 4 years. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with this, but I'm just gonna say, I am personally not a fan of this line of sets at all. Shocker, I know. But before we get into why, I do want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. On top of the course builder sets, there have been a few big collector-style Mario sets. As of the time of this video, there have been 4, with 1 additional being announced to come soon. Those sets are the LEGO NES, Question Mark Block, Bowser, Piranha Plant, and the upcoming Mario and Yoshi pixel art set. These have been absolutely phenomenal, and no matter what I say in this video, I hope they continue to do these just as they are. I have bought every single one of them so far, and I'm comfortable saying that 3 of them are my top 3 LEGO sets of all time, and I have been collecting for quite a while. If I were to give a quick little mini ranking, last place is Yoshi because I hate that guy. Then I'd go with the Piranha Plant, which is the smallest currently released set, but I think it's a perfect size as is. Look, I can make it eat Rosalina. But as for my top 3, this is very difficult as they're all almost tied for me. I think I'd go 3 the NES, 2 the Question Mark Block, and 1 Bowser. All 3 of these sets are really good though, and I highly recommend buying them if you can. They are quite expensive, but so are LEGO, so no surprise there. Of the 3, I think Bowser is just able to edge them out as the coolest of the bunch. But yeah, whatever I say in this video, keep in mind that I'm only referring to the course builder style of sets. LEGO, you're doing a great job with these, so please keep going. Now with those gross positives out of the way, we can finally start hating. I'm sure some of you guys were absolutely suffering back there. I've got quite a few problems with how this course builder system has been done, so we're just gonna go point by point here. First things first, I simply don't love the idea of these sets anymore. Obviously, this is very different from anything else LEGO has ever produced. I mean, it's basically like making a video game out of Legos. I mean, they've done that several times, so the differences, those are good. Now, I can respect them trying something new, and I'm sure that kind of just comes with working with Nintendo. I mean, their consoles are not known for being normal, but at least they have games. I am also well aware that I am far from the target demographic that these course builder sets were made for. I am an old and deteriorating 20-year-old man who's just about one breath away from his last, but even if I'm not the target audience, I think they could have done a better job making Mario sets appeal to everyone. I mean, that's exactly what the games do. Everyone of all ages are Mario fans, but I can't say I've seen many people enjoy these course builder sets online. And that's in stark contrast to most LEGO lines. Looking at, say, Star Wars or Marvel sets, people of all ages love those. Most of the time, there's some stinkers in there. And I think the reason that is comes from one major thing: minifigures. These are the iconic LEGO figures that you see in 90% of sets. When you think of LEGO, this is probably what you imagine. Whenever I was dreaming about getting LEGO Mario sets, I was always super excited thinking about getting minifigures based on the series. But as you can tell, we have still not gotten any Mario minifigures. Now to be fair, Mario characters could have some trouble translating over to the minifigure style, but would they really? I feel like you could absolutely make good looking Mario figures for sets in this scale, scale. I mean, they aren't even the most complicated characters LEGO has ever translated over to minifigure form. One of my friends behind the bricks also made a video series making some Mario minifigures, and I think they turned out pretty good, especially considering he didn't have access to new molds that LEGO could possibly make. Highly recommend watching that video. But the point is, there should absolutely be no trouble translating Mario characters into this form. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, the digital versions of them aren't the nicest looking representations anyway, so I highly doubt it's a big concern. Minifigures are one of my favorite parts of LEGO sets, which seems hypocritical because I said 3 of my favorite sets don't have any, but just ignore that please. Now I will say some of the enemies in the LEGO Mario line are pretty close to minifigure scale, so I don't mind their designs. I mean, LEGO Dryblin's is just adorable, how could you not love him? But then you look at Bowser. So at the very least, some of the enemies aren't bad, but the refusal to make minifigures based on the Mario series has been incredibly frustrating. And you know what's made that even worse? The fact that they're making minifigure sets for every other video game franchise. LEGO Minecraft, for example, has been a huge line of sets for years, and they're absolutely fantastic. They have minifigures for several characters like many of the mobs, and Steve. This line of minifigure sets has been going since 2014, and there's no sign of it slowing down anytime soon. But I'm sure a lot of you are pointing out how Minecraft just works better in LEGO form considering the source material. I mean, you literally build things with cubes, that perfectly translates to LEGO. But Minecraft is far from the only video game franchise to get minifigure sets. Let's look at a more recent example with the Sonic the Hedgehog sets, which are also platforming games just like Mario. Now, I haven't bought any of these sets myself, but they look pretty good. Okay, except for that shadow head. But I'm happy they've made so many iconic Sonic characters in this form, and that just leaves me questioning, why not Mario, the most iconic video game franchise there is? And for a while there, I was just thinking, okay, maybe Nintendo's being very stingy. But then they made Animal Crossing sets and a Zelda set, both in minifigure scale. I'm gonna lose my mind. These sets, especially the Great Deku Tree, look fantastic, and I love how they translated so many of the characters into minifigure form. I've already bought the Great Deku Tree, and I'm just waiting for a chance to build it. But why can Zelda get a phenomenal minifigure set with 4 iconic characters, and Mario hasn't gotten a single one after 4 years? I mean, even if I could just get one big Peach's Castle set in minifigure scale, I'd be over the moon, but for some reason, LEGO or Nintendo just despise Mario minifigures. But the characters not being minifigures isn't the only problem. We also need to look at the actual builds for these sets. People aren't just asking for minifigure sets because of the characters, but the builds are generally a lot better in those too. The course builder system is unique from most other LEGO lines, as they're usually a series of small builds connected together loosely by plates. That's so kids can redesign the sets by shuffling around how all the areas are connected, and sure, it can be fun to connect a ton of different sets together for one massive course. But unfortunately, that leaves a lot of the builds themselves to be pretty lackluster at best. Now that's not to say there aren't any good builds. Whenever they do a vehicle, for example, I think they do a pretty decent job. Buildings, on the other hand, are really rough. More often than not, they are extremely flimsy shells. Toad houses in particular definitely get this problem the worst, but there are also sets like Peach's Castle that have barely any meat to them. Again, I get that this is done because the main idea is that you're building a course and not a display piece, but that's also exactly my problem. What's your point? And on top of the builds being pretty lackluster, what they decide to actually make is pretty weak too. Mario has countless iconic locations from his many games, but for a majority of these sets, they're entirely original. Now that's not to say original sets based on a licensed theme are bad. Let's take a look back at LEGO Minecraft. A large portion of its sets are just based on things you could theoretically build in Minecraft. I mean, the First Night set is one of my favorite LEGO sets, and it's not based on any Minecraft structure, but at the same time, sets based on actual locations from the game exist in droves. I mean, you can find a set for pretty much every single structure, so I think Minecraft has struck a really good balance. Mario, on the other hand, has very little in terms of concrete references to the source material. They've got a few airships from Mario U, Bowser's car and train from 3D World, and Peach's Castle. Everything else is pretty much just original to the LEGO Mario brand, just taking random elements from Mario games and slapping them together. There have been no sets based directly on Odyssey, my favorite game of all time, no sets based on Sunshine, and even no sets based on Galaxy, which as a lot of you know, I don't really like, but it should still get sets about it. There are a few power-up packs, but they're literally just $10 clothing changes, so I'm not counting them. And heck, Mario 64 only got represented because of the builds inside the question mark block set. In terms of the course builder line though, there's absolutely nothing. Pretty much only the linear Mario games get any sort of representation, and that's super disappointing to see. And that's just the mainline stuff. A majority of spin-offs also get nothing. To be fair, I'm not too upset about that since mainline stuff is what I want, but how did they not make sets based on the Mario movie at least? I mean, that was a perfect time to make the jump to minifigures. But nope, to this day, there's been no sign of the course builder system ever slowing down. And that's what gets me to the inspiration for this video. I'm sure a lot of people were probably screaming about this when I mentioned no spin-off sets, but they actually did announce a new line of Mario sets coming soon. These being based on the Mario Kart series, and that makes complete sense to translate over to LEGO. Vehicles tend to do pretty well, and Mario Kart is an extremely popular aspect of the Mario series. But frustratingly, these sets are all still in scale of the course builder line. Now, we don't know how these sets will work yet, but I imagine they'd be completely different from the main concept of running around and collecting coins, since Mario has to actually sit in a cart the whole time. Considering there are also no roads included in any of these sets, I think these will work just as standard LEGO vehicles. Which just brings up again, why not let these be the introduction collection of minifigures. They could have had a whole line of minifigures from the Mario series along with their carts, but instead we get these horrific brick-built babies. I can give some credit and say I do like the builds for some of these carts, and I appreciate that many of them come directly from the series, but man, it's just so frustrating to see them stick to this course builder style. It's been heavily criticized over the past 4 years, and I'm far from the first to do so, but this new Mario Kart line just makes it seem like there's no hope for ever getting Mario minifigures. So to sort of conclude this mini rant video, the course builder line of Mario sets is incredibly lackluster for a number of reasons. While I recognize it's designed for kids, they can absolutely design sets for all ages that everyone can enjoy at the same time. The massive collector sets have been fantastic, and I do hope they keep doing them, but I think this course builder line has overstayed its welcome. For years I've been dreaming about getting sets like Peach's Castle, Bowser's Castle, the Odyssey, or New Donk City Tower, but year after year my hope for getting those has been slowly diminishing. If you like the course builder line, then good for you. You're just wrong. But I think they could, at the very least, run some minifigure sets alongside the course builder line. Even if the minifigure stuff is just big collector sets, I'd be all for it and would pick up every single one of them as soon as they release. But for now, I've got to live with the fact that the LEGO Mario sets are majorly disappointing. Oh, and also I really don't like that you have to get the instructions for them on your phone. Just please print them out. I don't care if it's more expensive. Make the kids struggle. But anyways, that's it for this video. Do you really love the penguin suit set and hate me for writing off the power-up builds? Let me know in the comments. Again, I know this is a very different video than what I normally make, but I hope you also had fun with it. As you all can probably expect, I needed a short one so I can once again work on my 200k special, and it is extremely close to completion now. I'm over 80% edited, so I think, if all goes well, it should be coming very soon. But anyways, dry bones for Smash, and I'll see you guys next time.